So it's 10 seconds remaining to go live.
Yes. Good to go, Imanshu. Yeah.
Yes. So it's 3, 2, 1. We are live to the audience. We can start this meeting. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, friends. And this is Arpan Kumar Paul welcoming all to Life Pharma Coalition. Today is a very special day because we have both the core team members of Life Pharma Coalition, in fact, the founder members, that is Mr. Yashwant and Mr. ICS today. This is one of a few occasions where all the three of us, that is me, ICS Verma and Yashwant Mishra, we are all present. But yeah, today that way it is very special. So in our endeavor of spreading learning and development across the pharmaceutical industry, we have encompassed 155 steps. Yes, today is LPC 155. So in our quest for spreading learning and development, we have walked so far, but we have to walk even more because we are spreading our wings not only towards the pharmaceutical industry, but we have taken under our wings the pharmaceutical colleges who are teaching pharmaceutical management and B pharmacy, because we have identified that they are our future pharma leaders. So it is pertinent that we bring them under our fold and spread the learning and development within. In fact, I was reading somewhere that we should never be like a mountain, because a mountain is very rigid, it is very straight, and it cannot hold even a drop of water. If water is like learning, then being a mountain would stop us from holding even 1% of learning. Instead, let us be like a valley, because a valley is some place where water can definitely flow. So instead of being like a mountain, which becomes very rigid as far as accepting learning is concerned, let us be like a valley. Somewhere it is said that when a river can take everything along, the trees, the houses, everything it can uproot, somewhere down the line, the river felt very unsuccessful because it could not carry even a strand of grass. And that is where change comes. Whenever there is a change, there is always resentment. People are afraid to change. People oppose change only for the reason that they get blown over. Let us be like a grass, which always is very adaptable to the situation where it bends down and allows the river to flow, so that after the river flow has gone, it once again gets back to its original position. So that is why change is so very important in our learning, because in the golden mantra of learning, unlearning, and relearning, somewhere a change has to prevail. And that is something which will carry us to the next level, so that we can upskill or reskill ourselves to become a better version of ourselves. And LPC has been that platform which has always spread the learn, unlearn, and relearn mantra across the pharma industry. And so many wonderful leaders from the pharma industry have been a part of Life Pharma Coalition in sharing their knowledge, sharing their experience, and of course, sharing their learnings from this pharmaceutical industry. Now, I will take a moment to give a presentation of the journey of Life Pharma Coalition so far. Yeah, welcome to Life Pharma Coalition, which is a global knowledge and networking forum for pharma professionals, and it deals with many aspects like manufacturing, sales and marketing, global packaging, supply chain, HR, L&D, and of course, academics. This is the LPC executive team who have always been a part of hosting these programs as a moderator, as a panelist, and of course, as a speaker. It would be unfair of me if I do not mention the wonderful contribution of our mentors and advisors who have always stood there very steady whenever we needed them. And they have always given us their advice to take this wonderful Life Pharma Coalition platform ahead in our learning endeavor. Thank you so much, Pharma Ratna Universe 2022, for bestowing us with the Healthcare Webinar of the Year Award for the best healthcare webinar. And Life Pharma Coalition, we were there at Delhi to receive the award. And this is only a small recognition that we have got for our learning endeavor, and many more awaits us in future as we spread this journey across the length and breadth of this entire universe. Our first physical meet, because LPC started when the world closed its doors due to COVID, and LPC opened its windows so that we could spread learning and development. And our first physical meet was LPC 100 Conclave at Mumbai on the 17th of March 2022, which was hosted at Courtyard by Marriott. And thank you for the overwhelming support of the entire pharma industry. Our second meet was LPC 125 Pharma Conclave, which was at Ahmedabad. And thank you so much, Dr. Ganesh Naik, for being the chief guest to the occasion and sharing your wonderful knowledge and experience to us during that wonderful session. Next, it was LPC Pharma Conclave 3.0 at Navi Mumbai, which was done in association with SIES School of Business Studies. And along with pharma industry stalwarts, we also had the wonderful students who were into pharmaceutical management. And just a few days back, we had LPC 150 Conclave at Hyderabad. It was NIPER, the venue, and we had a fantastic journey with pharma professionals as well as students who presented their learnings, their experiences during this meet. Now, this 150 glorious episodes of learning and sharing wouldn't have been complete without the contribution of such wonderful leaders across the length and breadth of the pharma industry. And they were there at NIPER Hyderabad to share their learnings and experiences. And a special thanks to our guest of honor, Chakravarti AVPS, our chief guest, Dr. A. Ramakrishnan, and of course, our chairperson, Dr. Shashi Bala Singh, for gracing the occasion. There was also guest speaker, Mr. Debashish Sarkar, guest speaker, Mr. Mettu Srinivasan, and guest speaker, Mr. S.V. Krishnan Balaji sir, for the NIPER 150 Conclave meeting. Coming to today's session, we have Mr. Candy S. Kandaswamy, who's the National Sales Manager, Wokhard Limited. In fact, he has had a wonderful pharma journey of about 20 years, 28 years plus. And today he is going to deliver on the topic, managing the Y2K kids as professionals. And along with me, I also have Mr. ICS Verma and Mr. Yashwant Mishra to assist me. So thank you so much. Now I will hand it over to Mr. Yashwant Mishra for an overview on today's topic.
Thank you very much, Arpan. Thank you very much. Good morning all, and welcome to Life Pharma Coalition, a global knowledge and networking platform for pharma professionals. You all will agree with me that managing millennials is a challenge across the industry, not in pharma, but across industry, because millennials, when we call millennials and Generation Z, they come with a different traits and set of ambitions. So they are techno-savvy. Their technological understanding is much, much more than us. They are very much into social media. They are relentless, ambitious, and also anxious. So how to manage this type of millennials, Y2K kids, is the topic today. We'll be focusing definitely on pharma, sales and marketing professionals, because when young breeds come to pharma as a medical representative or pharma sales executive, it is the onus on managers, first line managers, second line manager, third line managers, to give them good working environment and also lead them to right direction, understanding their challenges and traits. So that is what we are going to discuss in today's session. And for that, we have got opportunity to have a speaker like Mr. Candy Kandaswamy, and he is the National Sales Manager in Wokhard. I will give a brief about Candy sir. He is a science graduate and MBA, having 29 years of experience in pharmaceuticals. So you can say nearly 3 decades of experience in pharma across companies. He started his career in a small company as an MR in Salem. Then he launched Indicami in Salem, also Indicami in Erode. Then Zydus Elidec also he worked in Salem. Then sir has joined Ranbaxy Stent Care as MR executive frontline manager, then promoted to second line manager. And then as an RM, he joined Biocon. and Abbott as a journal sales manager. 5 years, sir was into entrepreneurship, and currently, sir is heading Vocard 1 division, right? So that is what is the background as a NSM of Candy sir. Sir, thank you very much for accepting our invite and joining LPC. As I mentioned, Life Pharma Coalition, our audience are mainly pharma sales and marketing professionals, some of the MBA pharma students who join us to understand what is going on in industry, all across industry, and they also share their learnings. So I would like to hand over to Candy sir to give a brief overview. What is his opinion about this topic? And then before that, I would also like to introduce our co-panelist, ICS Verma sir, director, founder director of Next New Direction Consulting. Sir, once again, thank you very much for joining. Please give your view, ICS sir, your view on this topic. Then we'll go to Candy sir.
Yeah. First of all, welcome all to Life Pharma Coalition's 155th episode, the continuous episode of 155, on this global platform. And the moment I saw the topic, I actually, I wanted to take rest today because there was a hectic week last week. But I felt that I should contribute something because this topic is something, very, very useful for the entire industry, whether it's a pharma or non-pharma. Because when, even in as a parent, we see this problem, the generation gap. Our children say that, when you say that, don't do this, do like this, they say that, no, dad, it's these days it should be done like this. So just imagine the same kind of kids you are managing as a leader and the kind of challenges. Even it's difficult for us to convince our children, and you have to convince the entire, this generation, at least, a couple of people in the managers, as well as especially the medical reps. They are young guys and they have a completely different goals altogether. Because when we were children, hamara goal kya hai? Ek ghar, we have to own a home, own a car, and should have a comfortable life and retire on it. But the current generation, they don't have all these goals. So that I think Candy sir is going to discuss, and we will contribute in this today's episode. So tune on. Thank you
very much. Thank you very much, ICS sir. And once again, thank you for joining. So now we'll go to today's speaker, Candy sir. Sir, over to you. Your overview about the topic.
Yeah. First of all, my sincere thanks to Mr. Arasan, Mr. Yashwant, for making me as a speaker, because I was a viewer of this program. I always, whenever I get time to attend, because Arasan always used to share the link, so I always attend the meeting. But I am very thankful to both of you for making me as a speaker for this, as a panelist. And I would like to thank Mr. ICS Verma and Arpan Kumar being a moderator for this. The interesting topic, which I feel that, which is required for this current managers, not only in pharma, but also for all the across the industry, any profession for that matters. I would like to segregate three groups of people, like late 60s, 70s, 80s in one group, 90s as a 90s kids as a separate group, and 2K kids, where we are going to discuss now. In this first group, we were all, grown by a strict parents. We obey. We, listen to them. And when it comes to 90, it was partial. They were not fully strict. They were fully liberal. And they were not fully obey, and they do agree, but certain things they do. But if you see any topics or any behaviors for 2K kids, it will be definitely a new dimension, because most of the parents, both the parents will be working. So for 2K kids, the direct interaction with the parents were very less, and their intelligence and techno savvy, because of emerging technology. When they started grown up, they were with cell phone. But when we were as a kids, first we were having a PP number, then we were into landline phone, Then we started with the small button phones, all this. But when 2K kids, when they started growing, they were with smartphones. The entire world is with them. And even parents also just give the phone to them so that they will not disturb. This is what made 2K kids as a individual learners. They didn't bother about the circumstances or the environments. They think that I know everything. And the third thing is emotional. When it comes to the first and second group, first group was totally emotional group. They connect to their parents, they connect to their siblings, they connect to their bosses, industry, company, anything for that matter. They were very emotional. And it was with, if you see in 90s kids, it is 50-50, I will say. But in 2K kids, it is very rare chances of being emotional. They are not emotional. They are very rational and very practical. And intelligence. When it comes to intelligence, first group, when they came to the profession, whether they know the profession or not, they know the job or not, just for survival, they joined this profession, any profession for that matter. I will consider pharma as this. So they joined this profession, they started learning, they obey to their bosses, they learn everything, whatever instruction given, they did. And when it comes to 90s, partially yes. And the same thing we cannot expect from 2K kids, because when they come into the profession, they know about the industry, about their job, about the company, maybe about their bosses also, because of the connect what they have. And when it comes to survival, survival was first group. It is must. They, after completing the degree, they have to go for a job. But for 90s kids, it was little by force they went to the profession. But for 2K kids, they are not coming to the profession for survival or by force. They want some value for them. They need to be valued. That is the only reason they are coming to the profession. If they didn't like the profession, when we were all into the field, if you don't, whether you like it or not, you have to be there in job. But in 2K kids, you can't expect that if they don't like, they will be stick to the job or the bosses. They may simply resign and go, or they may simply change the profession. They will not change the company, they will change the profession. So these are all the environments, how a leader can manage these 2K kids. First of all, as a leader, when we start managing the 2K kids, we have to completely unlearn whatever we have learned. Completely, it is not partial. Because what kind of team we were handling, the same thing you cannot expect from a 2K kids. Because for them, it is, for you, it is one of the MR. Because 2K kids, there are two ways they will be entering into the pharma profession. One is medical representative, means the front runner. The second one is as a marketing trainee into the marketing team. So who will be directly handling them? The frontline managers as well as the group brand managers. These two people are only directly handling these 2K kids. So they need to be equipped fully. How? You cannot ask any direct questions, especially the language as well as the tones. For 2K kids, the language and tone matters. How you give the induction, you have to go with them every time, because 2K kids know they want appreciation. All these, first and second group, what I said, no, we were all expecting appreciation, whether we are appreciated or not, but we go ahead with it. But 2K kids, they want appreciation. They want feedback, that too, especially positive feedback. You cannot give a negative feedback directly to them. They will not accept it. They will say that what I did is right. And they will be 100% argumental. They may not obey, because the growth was like, they have grown in the ways that nobody will ask question to them. It is not that, in general I am talking. It is the, their core ideology. I will do my job, but it is correct. You have to accept what I am doing. This is what the majority of the people will think. So as a boss, as a leader, like 20 years back, if my boss asked me a question, even if I am right, if he says something, I will not argue, or the first group of set of people will not argue. We will go, okay, what my boss says is right. The same thing you cannot expect with 2K kids. The moment you ask, and if you ask in a different language or tone, they will stop you. Why are you talking like this? So as a manager, you need to be very, very, clear in asking questions. You have to be with the data. You have to, when you induct them, you have to tell them what are all the things you should not do. Don'ts should be highlighted first because they know what is to be done. But you have to highlight don'ts. Don't, these are all the things you should not do. This is what we require. This is what we require. And when you give feedback, you should not give a bland feedback. Like what you did is wrong. They will not accept it. In fact, what you can say is, if you would have done this way, it would have been much better. So instead of, rather than going for a direct, feedback and finding out fault, we can get best out of them and what is the best in them. So as a leader, you need to find out what is the best in them. So you have to keep on interacting. And when it comes to emotional, they will not be emotional. Though how to correct people? You cannot give somebody emotional. It is a feeling which we cannot, externally force them. How to connect with them emotionally? You have to connect through their family. You have to ask them how many of their family members, what are they doing? What is his father? Give the feedback to his father. Your son is this, he is doing good. If he is doing this better and he would have achieved this. And the next one is they want recognition fast. They want their growth fast. They will not just like that wait, for like it's 60, 70, 80s generation, 10 years as a representative, and then started applying for promotion, then go for in 2 years, they want promotion. Less than 2 years, they want promotion. If they achieve 1 quarter, they will ask, sir, when I will get promotion? You have to be mentally prepared for handling all these things. And you have to, educate them how a manager can be, how much experience can be, how you have to learn, what are all the things you have to learn, everything you have to teach them. Unless you teach them on a regular basis, every time you give feedback, positive feedback, by doing this, what they will get. See, for them, everything is reciprocation only. So you do this, you will get this. You do this, you will get this. You cannot boss around 2K kids. Please remember me, by giving orders, they will not do anything. They will not obey you. If you expect that they have to obey, that is the first failure of the managers. That is the reason first in the beginning of my talk, I said, please unlearn whatever you have learned in terms of handling 2K kids. Up to 90 kids, it is fine. Sometimes they will ask, but they will go by what you say. But 2K kids, if they do, then that is that you are blessed. If they obey, you are blessed. But in majority, you have to keep your mindset that if they are not doing this or if they are not obeying me, you should not get irritated, because that is the way you have to live. That is the only way you have to live. Because whatever I have done is right, but that is the only reason I have become a boss now. So whatever I am saying my subordinate should follow will not work out, especially in case with 2K kids. And when it comes to appreciation, again, they will expect appreciation, I said, and you have to do that is also on the daily basis. And feedback and growth. Growth wise, everything we need to, whether it is an incentive. So do this, you will get this much in terms of your benefits. Do this for a year, 2 years if you do this. See, instead of you tell them that if you have 2 years experience only, you will get promoted. Rather, you can say, if you continuously achieve target for 2 years and you can become a manager. This is the only way you can motivate them. So they will also keep it in their mind. Okay, if I want to become a manager, for them only one point they will take. For getting this, what I have to do. They will not, ask you multiple things and then follow with multiple and connect through their family, I said, and it is very well expected. Even the moment they join, in fact, it is very well followed in Bokod also. My boss, Mr. LCS Vishnu and Mr. Amut Madekar has clearly given instruction. Any new guys joined, we'll go to their home and then we'll welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Wonderful overview you have given in the first part of this session on characteristics of Y2K kids. I will just summarize. Then I would like to know from you in the second part, as a manager, first line manager, second line manager, what is your advice to managers? How to build the connect with them? That question I will ask. But first, what you have told is start with unlearn. If you want to manage a Y2K kids, first thing is you need to unlearn whatever you have learned in your days. Right? That will never work here, because Y2K kids are not obey. They do argument. They don't obey the way we used to do with our boss. If boss is told, boss is always right. That was the mantra for us when we started our career. These people are entirely different. They are very much ambitious. They are argumentative. They will ask for why I should do this. And then they are very clear on growth perspective. They want instant recognition. They want instant recognition. Their focus span is very, very less as compared to us. When we used to join 30 years back, 25 years, we used to there with the company for 5 years, 10 years, 12 years. Arpan was there in one company for 25 years. These people, it will be surprise for them that one person can work in a company for 25 years. So that is the dream for them. So they are very, very fickle minded. If they get good opportunity, they are ready to take risk. They are ready to change the company. So commitment level is very, very high. As you rightly mentioned, they are interactive. Emotion wise, they are very, very less emotional as compared to us. But as a manager, you advise, we need to connect them emotionally. Although their emotion level is less, we need to be emotional manager. We cannot give direction. We should make them realize what are the things happening. When they see what is in it for me, then only they will work. Not just because you are saying. Recognition is very good way. If you recognize their effort, every small effort are recognized, they will understand, they will follow your instructions, and they're open to learn. Always give feedback in a positive way. Earlier, what we used to do, we used to give negative feedback. You are not doing this, that is why you are not performing. They are not ready to listen to this type of feedback. What Candy sir suggested, feedback should be positive feedback and constructive feedback, so that without hurting their ego, we are communicating so that they will take it positively. Right? Not only that, appreciation should be done regular wise. Every time, small achievement, small success should be appreciated. That will create bonding between you and your team member. And so the future prospect, as I rightly said, they don't have 5 years, 6 years, 7 year time, waiting time. They are not so much patience. You need to show, if you perform for 2 years, you will be promoted as a first line manager. If you perform for 3 years, you will become, and within 5 years, you can become regional manager, like that. If you give them growth perspective, good working environment, definitely you can channelize their energy and bring the best out of them. Sir, wonderful prospect is very, very useful for our viewers. Wonderful prospect you have given. One question I have for you, sir. Many of the general managers, regional managers nowadays have started a very unique thing. I want your opinion about that. After every quarter, these people, they take their team, this millennial team, to outing. After closing or after quarter achievement, they take them to water park or picnic, so create bonding. Do you think it is a good way to build a connection with them? Your opinion?
That is the best way to connect. Even it is
Yes,
not
sir.
only for the quarter achievement or month achievement. When you are working with them, they do a POB, they convert a doctor. You immediately appreciate them, taking them to an ice cream parlor, or they take him to the biryani shop, or you ask them which
Yes,
restaurant
yes,
you
yes.
want to have your food. So I want to say, give a treat for you for converting this doctor, taking this POB, something, so that they are engaged fully. They want to work with positive environment. Even as you said, no, like in our days, if we do some mistakes, our bosses used to be on the face blunt. What you did is wrong. We as a professional, we accept it because of the generation, because of the need, survival. But the situation is not like that. If you say directly to them that what you did is wrong, they will say, what's wrong in that? Why don't I do like this? You don't have answer for that. Suppose if it works out, if they did something wrong and it works out well, then they will say what I did was right. So they try to prove you. So it is better always to give a positive feedback and appreciate them instantly. There are companies who have immediate appreciation certificates also. So yeah, this is the way. The question what you ask, no, that is the right way of making people engaged and appreciating then and there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the response. Before we go ahead, I would like to mention many of the viewers who are live and watching and enjoying the session. I want to mention their name, recognize them. Vishwa Gaurav has joined. Thank you very much, Vishwa Gaurav. It's a nice thought, Candy sir. It's a wonderful way you have explained about the characteristics of millennial. Riyasat Ali Khan. इश्क ऐसा भी nice thought sir boss I think he is under you nice thought boss wonderful enjoying your conversation Shankar K nice speech sir it is very relevant in today's context John Santosh sir overview about the keyword extremely right we also face the similar challenges right this is what they have done then Bhavik Patil's are in very good interaction so there are many of the people are watching and some of them have shared that appreciated this I'm waiting some of the questions also any questions you people have please put the questions in Facebook and YouTube we will address this Arpan your view
Yes, thank you so much, Yashwant sir. In fact, this was one of my also favorite topics because studying different generation of workforce gives you an idea about their receptiveness to today's thought process, how receptive they are to accepting and believing what we are telling them. Basically, we have had 6 generations of workforce to be very precise. The silent generation, which was between 1928 to 1946. In fact, this is a generation which has witnessed the world wars. Okay, it has witnessed the catastrophes that have happened, the many droughts that had happened in the country. So this is a generation which has basically withstood a lot of hardships. Then came the generation we call the veterans. Sometimes we call them the traditionalists, which was basically from 1946 or 47. That is after our country gained independence. In fact, one very good quality that we associate with the veterans or the traditionalists is loyalty towards the organization, because that is a time when probably our grandfathers, they were in the workforce and they always worked in one organization. They started and then they retired from that same organization. So maybe change management wasn't the thought at that time, but giving loyalty was something that was best understood with that generation. Next came the generation which we call the baby boomers. And this was a generation which had at least 50 to 60% loyalty. But again, being a career-oriented person was also there. So wherever they got a chance to build a better career, they would sometimes consider that as their forte. And after that, there were the 3 generations, that is Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z, where the loyalty L factor was slowly diminishing, but the change factor was increasing. Their receptiveness to learning was definitely there. Embracing the technical part, which was not there in the first 3 generations, was very much there in the last 3, because they were much more tech savvy than the previous 3 generations. And most important, they lived for the day. They never had tomorrow, because they always believed that today is my day. Tomorrow, I do not know what is going to happen. So Candy sir, my first question is, being in an organization which has at least 3 to 4 generations of workforce, how difficult or how easy is it to manage multi-generational professionals in an organization?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. First of all, in our profession, what kind of customers we are managing is, they are any profession, sales professional for that matter, sales professional will be highly equipped than the customer and the consumer. But only in pharma, customers are more knowledgeable than the people who are selling. Your doctor knows better about your molecule, your doctor knows better about the therapy, doctor knows better about the science, but you are selling. So how difficult it is to handle the customer? Same way, these Y2K kids, they know better than what the bosses are sometimes, and their exposure is much better than what he came into the profession. And first, there are 3 segments of people now. We were discussing how we are have to handle. First group, they know what they are supposed to do, and now they would have reached some position. Either they will be into learning and development, or into higher positions, or into at least zonal level leaders they will be in. So you need not to teach them, because their understanding is very best, and they have got 2 decades of experience. You need not to even tell. They will do what they want. And when it comes to the next level, 90s kids, they are now into the growing stage. They want, hand holding. They want, the bosses help to grow themselves. So this is how we have to help the 90s generation. So we need to teach them, we need to learn them, we need to make them understand what they are doing is right or wrong, and we need to help them in growing life. And Y2K, they are as good as our customers. Like they know better than us in terms of technology, in terms of their exposure, in terms of their behavior, and emotionally they are not connected. So for them, how to handle is you should have a strong organizational skills, like how you handle your customer when you are a representative without knowing anything in this profession. Second thing is effective communication to them. What are all the do's and especially don'ts, and commitment. What is the commitment you are giving to them to meet their expectations? What they expect, what they want. You have to give the commitment and support according to that. This is the only way you have to handle them. These three group of people. Hope your question is answered.
Yes, yes, very much. In fact, after employees, let us come to customers. That is our doctors. In fact, there is a cycle known as the adoption life cycle. Okay. In fact, in there we have got basic 5 stages. That is innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and the laggards. Okay. So if we divide our customers, that is doctors, into generations also, how important is it to segregate the doctors into generation, keeping in mind our old products, the new products, and the products in the pipeline?
Correct.
So I would like to hear your views that how do you generalize these doctors, or rather put them into different segments as per the requirement of the organization regarding movement of the old products, the new products, as well as for the products which are in the pipeline?
So movement of the old products, we have to see whether it is in the positive growth or it is in the declining growth. So based on your volume of business, you have to give importance to that particular brand. The product which is going to be there in the pipeline, you need not to much bother about it, because your medical team will take care of what are all the things to be discussed in future according to the market. But we have to focus on what are all the products which is there in the growing stage. We have to concentrate mainly on the product which is there in the growing stage, which is going to be your future.
Right. So that means somewhere down the line, we would require the laggards, who would be doctors probably in the boomer stage, who will take care of the old products, because they do not easily adopt the new one. Somewhere down the line, the early adopters would be the one who will take care of the new products. And the innovators are the ones who is there for the pipeline products that are going to be launched in the next few months or years. Okay, so in this way, if we classify the doctors, keeping into mind the generation to which they belong, we will be able to keep the product movement of our organization in a very streaming process, so that there is no disruption as far as the old products, the new products, and the products which are soon going to be launched as far as company is concerned, right? So that is one way we can do it. Now, everybody talks about generation, and the next question they ask, what is generation gap? So I will ask you the same question. What do you feel, sir, is a generation gap, keeping in mind some, I'll tell you some qualities like attitude of people are concerned. That is one aspect. Second is the moral values. The third is the religious beliefs. And the fourth, of course, the respect for elders. So what is the generation gap according to you?
No. Generation gap is, what we say is generation gap is, if you understand the next generation, there is no gap.
Okay.
The gap comes when you don't understand. If you understand, yeah, this is what they expect, this is what I want. So if you understand, first of all, there is no gap. Second, attitude is something you cannot, quantify. Like results, you cannot quantify. It will be like that only. Sometimes you have to give the answer based on the way in which they understand. Sometimes you have to give the reply based on what the organization needs or the situation needs. It is not that for attitude, for them it is a normal one. For you, it looks like a different attitude. So you can't handle both in one situation. Sometimes you have to give the reply in which they understand only, so that it will hit their ego. They may correct it. Because in managerial, handling of people, managing the people, there is no right or wrong decision. It all depends upon the individual based on the situation only. So you cannot generalize attitude with one answer. It depends upon the person who is handling in what situation.
Right, sir. Absolutely. Attitude is intangible. We cannot measure it. So it would definitely require situational leadership as to how we actually take care of the current situation and bring them or give them the solution. And if we can do it, then there is no generation gap, because the gap will arise only when we are not able to answer them.
Understand.
Right. And one last question that I would like to ask you, in fact, last never happens because I have got lots of questions, is according to you, which generation do you think is the best generation?
So in certain aspect, in terms of emotions, in terms of doing hard work, I will say the first group is, very, very good.
The veterans,
Veterans group.
Okay.
And 90s, if you give proper direction, direction, and if you give the proper follow-up, they'll be good.
Right. But then the traditionalists or the veterans, they were very loyal. I accept your thought that they are the best. But again, when change management is concerned, learning and development is concerned, they were a group which was not very adaptable for that. Their adaptability was a question mark. That is why they seldom change jobs.
So right. It depends upon the individual, sir. How I am saying is, suppose if somebody wants to come up in life, they at any point of time, they'll try to learn.
Right.
If somebody doesn't want to grow, okay, I am okay with this position, they will try to be little, pushy. So you can't expect everyone to be like, they will understand everything. So it is.
So sir, don't you think our generation, that is baby boomers, are the best because they have?
Because there are positive and negative in every generation.
Yes.
So as Candy sir informed, my opinion is, as we are dealing with the millennials and Generation Z now, we as a manager, we as a leader need to understand their aspirations and accordingly modify, change our approach, leadership style according to their need. That is what Candy sir told. That is a wonderful thing, sir. Sir, before going ahead, it's a very interesting topic. I see sir has also rejoined. I would like to share some of the opinion what our viewers are saying. Mr. Rajan Sharma, it is an important for managers to recognize that the younger generation may have different values and ways of working. So we need to recognize that and accordingly lead them. Rajan is a past speaker also, sir. He is the leadership coach. And then Karthikeyan Bhaktavachalam nicely explained the mentality of 2K generation, Candy sir. It is very good. Rajan again says, Vishwa Gaurav, what are the potential sources of conflict between 2K employees and other generation in the workplace, and how intergenerational understanding can be developed? So Vishwa Gaurav has a question for all of us, sir. Key conflict, because you also mentioned in the early, there will be definitely a conflict. If the reader want to give direction and negative feedback, these people are not so much commitment. They are not ready to listen. So the question is, what are the potential sources of conflict? What are the ways where conflict will arise? And also work in the workplace, and how intergenerational understanding can be developed. These are two questions. We'll go to the question. Before that, one more, Rajan Sharma. Rather than expecting Generation Z to conform to traditional workplace norm, managers should strive to understand and incorporate their perspectives, which can lead to more productive and engaging workplace. Wonderful share, Rajan sir. Thank you very much. Now, Pondipon has also shared, which generation of people do you like? Anyone doing their own selling skill, Candy sir? So the question for you, which generation? Arpan also asked this question, but the Vishwa Gaurav question we can definitely address. What are the ways of conflict and how to manage? Candy sir, you can start. Then we'll go to IC.
See, conflict is this is again a situation only. More when handling this Gen Z, it is not the language; it is the tone which turn into conflicts. You may say something. The tone.
How matters. You are saying?
How you are saying, that is what matters. Because all kind of generation, if you are a boss, you are going to give something, some instruction to the team, they are going to do. But For the Gen Z, it is the tone matters, how you say. So the conflict arises there. And one more question, Mr. Rajan Sharma, which generation? I like all the generation because
Yes.
being a leader, you should not have a disparity between this generation, 90s and 250. For me, all are my team members. What I am going to add value. So that is what matters. See, now you cannot demand respect, you have to command respect. So by adding value. So as a leader, you have to, especially while handling the Gen Z, you have to be a strong organizational skills with adding value, be it doctors, be it in meeting, be it individual, be it personally, how you are adding value. So the Gen Z will respect you, and your communication should be very effective. As I said, there is not the language matters, it is the tone matters. So you have to be very, very clear in communicating the tone in a polite way or in an official way, not the way in which the opponent doesn't like it. And commitment, what commitment you are giving to them in terms of their growth. These are all the 3 points as a manager we should understand. So that if you understand this, any generation you can lead successfully. If you handle Gen Z, you can manage any generation very successfully.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very rightly said by you. According to situation, as a leader, we need to manage, understand. I see, sir, your opinion.
Yeah, so before I give my opinion, I would like to recognize many people from the Facebook, who have commented, and there are questions also. So we have Mahalingam Mahesh, Tinu John, Armugam, and Surendra Pratap Yadav.
Wow.
So these are the people who have given a lot of, and Venkatesh Babu, Bharat, yeah. So these are some of the people who appreciated the session and
thank you very much.
Kept their messages. And there is one question to Candy sir on by Tinu John. So this is very relevant, and I hope that it should be actually addressed. So Tinu John asked that the biggest challenge for the pharma industry is attrition. And the major attrition takes place between 0 to 9 months, very early stage. So would you like, so that's what kind of measures should be taken by the managers, line managers especially, to control this attrition? Because you cannot stop it, but at least you can minimize it. So what is your,
infant attrition is very high in the industry nowadays because, people doesn't have patience. They didn't want to be asked. And when we were all coming into the profession, we need to, ask about how the company is, everything. Now they come with entire details. This is what the company, this is what the manager, this is what the behavior, this is what the sales they are doing, whether they are achieving incentive. All these things were, foolproof. And when we were interviewing a candidate, we used to take a feedback about the candidate. Nowadays, they are taking the feedback about the company.
Yes.
When you approach them for an interview, they started interviewing you. Why this vacancy came? Who was the boss? How many years this boss is there? So you have been interviewed by the candidate. Now the situation changes. So any point of time cannot control attrition unless you have a emotional connect with the team. You have to make the team, connect with each other. That is why we used to say to be like Mr. Yashwant has asked, immediately after that, shall we give a party? 100% you have to give. Nowadays, the world is of party. Those days, even Saturday, Sundays, or even holidays, if you are asked to do any work, we used to do. But now the generation, if you ask, they will say, no, I will not. Monday only I will open my laptop. Monday only I will report.
Yes.
And you cannot force them. So correct. We have to live in this situation, Mr. Tinu. Unless you connect with the team emotionally, definitely the things will not change. So it is better to connect with the team emotionally and let us reduce that.
Yeah, and one more thing, you are rightly said that emotional intelligence is very, very important for the leaders when compared to the previous times, because that is the one glue which can actually keep your team with you. And another thing is, most of the youngsters probably they might not figure out by the time the purpose why they are here. So if you can give them the clarity, what they achieve. So just let me tell my experience, with the distribution company, which I am a co-founder. So we have people from 10th standard, 12th standard, and some of them are failed in the education, and they come as a delivery boys and into godown. So they don't understand they come for money, and they don't realize what I'm going to get by working in this. I can work anywhere and I will get the same money, 15,000-20,000, not more than that. So, but how we kept our team, intact is by telling them, how their job is helping thousands of people, because by distributing the right product in right time, we have NeoSurf, which is used in the ICU care for the newborn baby. So you are delivering this to save a child. Just imagine the kind of children you are saving in your 1 year. 100,000 children you are saving. Like I have COVID drugs. So you are delivering within 1 hour. So if you go by evening, probably he would have developed more complications, and getting recovery, it takes time. So you are helping somebody to live. Because of you, many people are living. So when you are instilling these kind of purpose, and that is also helping them to stick, and then they realizing, okay, yes, whatever I am doing, not everybody get this chance. I can sell ice creams, so that also I can make people happy, but I cannot save people by selling ice creams. So especially the pharma industry, that kind of purpose and the bigger picture, what we need to instill in the youngsters. And definitely, because what I see in this new generation is they always wanted, they want to achieve something bigger than money, car, and building. So they want something, they want to do something to the society. They want to contribute to society. So this is one very good example where we can actually, as a leaders, we can instill in them, and that will definitely keep them, continue in the same organization. So this is my personal experience. I just would like to add. Yes, Candy sir, over to you.
So, so shall we go for the conclusion now?
I will, before conclusion, I would like to show a small video on this millennial and how to deal with millennial, and then we'll close. Okay.
Yeah,
So just to give a different perspective. So let me open a 2 minutes video. Give me. Okay.
Referred to as Generation Y, are the generational group who follow Generation X and are typically categorized as people born between 1980 to the mid-1990s. Millennials are also sometimes referred to as Echo Boomers due to a major surge in birth rates in the 1980s and 90s. Generation Z, or Gen Z, is the generational group that came after the Millennials, born between the mid-1990s up to the mid-2000s. Generation Z is also referred to as the I Generation, iGen, or Post-Millennials. How do these generations compare? That's what we'll be looking at today, in this episode of the infographic show, Millennials versus Generation Z. Though these two groups sit side by side on the generation ladder, the expansion of the internet and the leaps that have been made with the digital revolution has seen them exposed to a host of different experiences. Add to that the influence of parents from different generations, and we have plenty of scope for differences in attitude and behavior. We've reviewed what researchers have said, so we can bring you our list of 10 ways these generations compare and differ. Let's take a look. Number 1. Attention span. Generation Z processes information faster than any other generation, including millennials. They live in a high-tech world of constant updates, and having grown up with access to apps such as Vine and Snapchat, their attention span is likely to be lower than that of millennials. A study showed that while only 4% of millennials and older generations believe 13 is an okay age for owning a smartphone, as high as 18% of Generation Z members think it is an okay age. Number 2. Multitasking. A short attention span is not always a drawback, and what Generation Z lack in focus, they make up for in their multitasking capabilities. Generation Z can work on a school assignment on their computer and do research on their tablet, all while taking notes. And in the evening, they will often sit in front of the TV watching a movie, at the same time chatting with a friend on Facebook from their phone or laptop. It's head-spinning stuff. Number 3. Independent versus collaborative. 71% of Generation Z say they live by the phrase, if you want it done right, then do it yourself. Generation Z tend to be more competitive and will adopt a do-it-yourself mindset in personal or professional activities. And when it comes to workspaces, 69% of Generation Z would rather have their own workspace than share it with others, whereas millennials would opt for a collaborative working environment where they can team up with their colleagues. Number 4, the digital pioneers. 40% of Generation Z say that reliable Wi-Fi is more important than reliable bathrooms. And according to Pew Research, only 14% of US adults had access to the internet in 1995, but by 2014, 87% had access. Millennials saw firsthand how social media revolutionized the way in which we communicate. They were pioneers in the digital age, witnessing the birth of smartphones, instant messaging, and internet searching capability. Generation Z were born into this tech-immersed society and so have a very different perspective. Number 5, face-to-face or digital chat. All this technology has also had an effect on how these generations differ with communication habits, and 74% of Generation Z say they prefer to communicate face-to-face with colleagues in the workplace. As we just mentioned, millennials pioneered many of the digital communication tools which revolutionized how we do business, but with Generation Z preferring a more personal approach, maybe they are the ideal generation to strike the right balance between online and offline workplace communications. Number 6, optimistic vision. A 2016 survey conducted by Lincoln Financial Group tells us that Generation Z are far more optimistic than the millennials. 50% of Generation Z say America is heading in the right direction versus 42% of millennials. 64% of Gen Z have started researching or talking to others about their financial futures by age 13. And after they've started having those conversations, 95% of those making financial plans feel optimistic about their future in general. Number 7, convenience over brands. Accenture research tells us that Generation Z love tech-driven, fast shopping experiences like 1-hour delivery, activated shopping, and in-store kiosks. Brands are less important, and they'll happily switch retailers who are better at providing these services. And they see shopping as a social experience. They like to consult friends and get opinions on products. They can be unforgiving when leaving reviews for retailers and are also twice as likely to consult YouTube as millennials before making a purchase. Number 8, different ways of learning. 75% of Generation Z say there are other ways of getting a good education other than the traditional route of going to college, according to Sparks and Honey research. And Generation Z has the beauty of hindsight on their side to see how things panned out for their counterparts. Many millennials now have large student debts and have been left questioning whether it was worth it, with 44% of recent college grads employed in jobs that do not require a degree. Number 9, tolerance. Millennials tend to be more tolerant than Generation Z as they have generally encountered more situations in life where things have the potential to go wrong. For Generation Z, it's all about getting the job done, and problems for them usually mean it's time to look elsewhere. As an example, if Generation Z experience a technical hitch when making an online purchase, it's unlikely they'll visit that store again, whereas millennials will be more lenient and likely give the store a second chance. And finally, number 10. Social influencers are today's celebrities. Generation Z are more likely to be browsing YouTube than sitting in a movie theater. 63% of them say they prefer to see real people than celebs in their ads. So it's pretty obvious we've probably got a large percentage of Generation Z viewers here at the infographic show. But whether you're Gen Y or Gen Z, one thing is for sure, you need money. Do you have a job that you hate and want to start a side business for that hobby you've had since you were a kid? Wix can help you get started with a website. Maybe you also want to start a mailing list or have a custom email address. Wix can do that too. Wix is an amazing platform for anybody, whether you're a complete beginner, a business owner, a professional designer, or even a professional website builder. You will never have to worry if your website is safe and secure, or if it will go down because of something you can't even understand. Wix does all the heavy lifting. You can finally create that amazing website you've been thinking about and support the infographic show at the same time by going to wix.com/go/info.
Yes.
So the learning point, what we can say is based on research, whatever Candy sir told, that is a reinforcement. This video is just a reinforcement of that. So generation millennial and generation Z, they are open for learning, but the only problem is the leaders should understand their perspective, their multitasking, their ambitious approach, and accordingly, leaders should have the leadership approach. Right, sir? So we can go to the closing part now. Candy sir, how did you like our this platform, your feedback, and today's topic? Closing remarks from Candy sir.
I like this platform because I told I was a viewer for this
Yes, yes, yes.
program. So I'm very happy that I have been a panelist and being a speaker. And I hope this topic would have been interesting and giving some value points to the managers who are all viewing this program. And I would like to re-insist only one thing. There is a saying, yeah, as a leader, your team will not do what you say. They will do what you do. This is what. But in 2K, these Gen Z, they will even ask, even if you do something also, they will ask, why are you doing this? So we are into that situation now. So we have to be strong organizational skill as a leader. So, and making an effective communication and your language as well as the tone matters in terms of managing these people when you are delegating any jobs, and be committed to them for their growth. It's not only for your Gen Z, for your entire team members, be committed for their growth. Obviously, the team will support you. You can support the team. It is vice versa. And once again, thank you very much for all of you on Sundays viewing this program, sparing your time, family. And thank you very much for the founders, Mr. Yashwant and Mr. ICS Verma, as well as Mr. Arpan Kumar Paul, for giving me a wonderful opportunity. And once again, my sincere thanks to Mr. Arasan for making me to be a speaker. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much on behalf of Life Pharma Coalition. Thank you for accepting our invite, and we look forward to you again in this platform for some different topic, different topic, different set of opinions. So you're always welcome to be there. And time to time we have our conclave, which is a physical event. So we would like to have you a part of conclave as a panelist. Sir. Thank you very much again. Over to ICS Verma sir for the closing remark.
Yeah. First of all, thanks, Candy sir, and all the entire team for making such a wonderful and lively session today. And even from the Facebook, I see a lot of people engaged and they ask many questions because it's being, one of the very, very important aspect for any leader to understand the generations and behave and act accordingly. And there is one suggestion from the Facebook is, they are requesting a LPC team to invite some HR leaders to actually discuss on how to, improve how to control the attrition in pharma industry. So that is one topic which has come. And also there were feedback on today's session, which went, it was really,
highly interactive,
kind of very insightful, and a lot of practical aspects have come today. And thank you very much. And over to you, Yashwant.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, ICS sir. I also thoroughly enjoyed the session. By looking into the response of the audience is wonderful. And the best part is, yesterday I requested Candy sir, would you like to do some presentation? He told, no. PPT I will not use. I will connect with the audience. I will share with my gut feeling. And that is what sir has told. In entire session, there was no presentation, no PPT, all talk from the gut. And sir has shared no theories. Sir has shared his practical knowledge. That is what is important. And keeping in mind the practical situations, field-based situation. That is the wonder when you invite a field person who has grown from MR to RBM, RVM, ZVM, NSM. He knows the pain areas. And that is what Candy sir has shared. All the practical things and how to address those things. Sir, thank you very much. Thoroughly enjoyed. And over to Arpan for the closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Yashwant sir. In fact, I always feel that people will never remember us for what we said, but they will definitely remember us for how we made them feel. And that is exactly what every generation wants, that how we are making them feel. And in fact, when we concentrate on attrition, well, it is better to concentrate on retention, because we need to be very thorough with the exit interviews, because that is one thing which is going to give us a clear idea, a clear picture as to why people are leaving. And that will, in fact, gear us to make retention strategies. Well, it was a wonderful session by Candy sir, and I was really enriched by the wonderful thoughts he had about the different generations of workforce. And most importantly, I loved the way he said there is no generation gap if we understand every generation. Excellent, sir. Now it's time for me to thank Imagica Health for the support that they have been giving us session after session in our endeavor towards spreading learning and development, not only to the pharma industry, but to the pharmacy colleges as well. This journey wouldn't have been complete without their support. So thank you so much, Imagica Health, and we look forward to your support in future as well. Thank you so much to our audience for not only sending their questions, but also sharing their thoughts about the topics that we have had so far. In fact, I would also give a small word of caution to our people that we are still not over with COVID. So let us maintain the COVID appropriate behaviors of SMS, sanitization, mask and social distancing, along with the compulsory vaccination. Let us keep our environment clean and green, because this is the best gift that we can give to our next generation. And before we end, as customary, I tell a story. So today's story goes like this. Well, there was a clever monkey who used to reside on a jamun tree. And the jamun of that tree was very sweet, and he used to eat that sweet. One day, a crocodile came there, and they became friends. And slowly, the monkey started offering the crocodile the jamuns. The jamuns were very sweet, very tasty, and the crocodile also enjoyed it. And in fact, every day the crocodile used to come and they used to talk with each other over some wonderful jamuns. One day, the monkey gave some more jamuns to the crocodile so that he can also share it with his wife. Now, the wife had the jamuns and they tasted really sweet. But somewhere the wife was feeling that because of this friendship with the monkey, her husband was giving more time towards this monkey, and a seed of doubt was sowed in the mind. So one day, the crocodile's wife told her husband that, if the jamuns are so sweet, how sweet will be the heart of that monkey? I want to eat the heart of the monkey. The husband was not agreeable to this because the monkey was his friend, but then, as it is said, he had to give in to his wife. So one day, the crocodile invited the monkey to come to his house. Now the monkey said that I cannot swim in the river, so how will I go? So the crocodile said that you get up on my back and I'll carry you. So the monkey, without any thought, just jumped on the back of the crocodile and he started carrying him on the river towards his house. On the way, some thought crossed the mind of the crocodile, and he thought, let me tell the real purpose of taking the monkey. And he said that, yes, my wife wants to taste your heart because the jamuns are so sweet and you take it every day. Your heart must be very sweeter. Well, the monkey was very clever. He said, Arey, you should have told me this before. I left my heart in the tree. So please take me back to the tree. I'll bring my heart so that your wife can take it. Well, when the crocodile took the monkey back, the monkey leapt back into the tree and saved his life. So dear friends, in this corporate world where things are so dynamic, so fast changing, let us not stick with only plan A. Let us also keep plan B ready, because we never know when plan A fails, and then we'll be short of ideas to take our mission towards completion or to its final destination. So always keep plan B ready. And if possible, a plan C will definitely add to our repertoire. So thank you so much, friends, for being a part of Life Pharma Coalition and supporting us in our journey of sharing and spreading learning and development across the pharmaceutical industry. So this is all for today. And this is Arpan Kumar Paul wishing goodbye to all of you, with a promise of reconnecting with all of you next Sunday at the same time, with a new set of speakers, with a new set of thoughts, and with a new set of learning. So meanwhile, enjoy the Sunday and have a wonderful time with your family. So goodbye, take care, and namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Namaste.
very much. Thank you very much. Let us keep in touch.